Alright, what's up everybody? Hello, what is up? How y'all doing? Hope you're having a great day, great week, and all that kind of stuff. I want to talk a little bit about Batman Arkham Knight. Now, I've posted a few articles about this. I posted my review. But there's still a few little things that I didn't really talk about much outside of like live streams and personal conversations with friends and such. The review I left to the point because I wanted people to know what I thought about the game without like a lot of just really needless extra words. But at the same time, I kind of been wanting to write like a second review, especially after starting my New Game Plus and, you know, playing through it again. And I love the game, but it's a big but. I mean, it's majorly disappointing for a couple reasons. Number one, the Batmobile, not the Batmobile for itself. The Batmobile is amazing. Like, I love the Batmobile in the game. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun to drive around the city and destroy enemies in. Just super cool. The mechanics are amazing. It's obvious that Rocksteady put just so much effort and work into the Batmobile, which is unfortunately the result of them pushing it way too much in the game. It's just to me it takes out the feel of Batman and the Arkham games. Not Batman, like, you know, of course Batman has a Batmobile. It doesn't make me go, oh, this is Batman. Batman wouldn't drive around in a car. Not at all. It's just, you know, all the Batman Arkham games, you come from them and they're all melee combat focused. And I'm not kidding when I say, like, the Arkham Knight game is mostly Batmobile focused. Everything about it. It's ridiculous. It's everything, man. Comparatively speaking, you know, just comparatively speaking to the other Arkham games, this one feels way too Batmobile focused. Now, if this was like the first Batman game that ever came out, you know, we wouldn't have anything to compare it to. It'd be like, whoa, this was pretty awesome. We might say, hey, there's a little bit, I would like to have a little more melee combat in this, you know, but it wasn't the first game, so definitely want more melee combat in it. And that brings me to the most disappointing feature to me, and not the feature itself, but again, the lack of use of it, the dual play, which is like the #1 coolest feature in the game that they added. And I know obviously it seems like the Batmobile was their #1 favorite new feature to add to the game, but dual play to me was my #1. Like, dual, and I wrote an article about it as soon as I found out about it. You know, this was stuff that they were talking about before the game launches. Dual play, you get to switch between the characters as you fight, and I was just like, no way, you know. And it is as cool as it sounds. It's probably even cooler than it sounds because it's really friggin' awesome. But I mean, there's not even like an hour of it in the game. My first playthrough was about 30 something hours, I think. Around 30, I can't remember. I think I wrote it down, but it was around 30 something hours my first playthrough because I took my time. You know, I didn't rush through every campaign mission. It was just, that's how long it took me as I was slowly taking my time through it, you know. And I didn't necessarily like force myself to go into open world and try to find all the secret stuff, but I didn't rush through the main missions. So around 30-ish hours, and there's not even a single hour of dual play. There's not a whole hour at all. Not a single hour. Not 60 minutes of dual play. The coolest damn new feature in the game. And then there's another new cool combat feature. A couple things linked together. Environmental attacks, really super cool. Just amazing. And it's pretty much as lacking. There's more of that than there is dual play because at least environmental attacks are, you know, they're part of almost every melee combat mission you come across, except for open world stuff. There is the Batmobile combo attack, but that's not exactly an open world like crush thing. There is the melee weapons though. You get to pick up the enemy bats and use them against the enemies, which is really cool. I definitely dig that. I think that's pretty neat. It's just so disappointing because all the coolest new features that they put in the game are barely there. It's, you know, what the hell, man? Like, everything is Batmobile, and even the challenges, most of the challenges are Batmobile. On top of that, the challenges, the melee challenges, are incredibly another major disappointment compared to previous Arkham games. All of them. Our Origins is still my favorite now. When I first beat Arkham Knight, and I was first playing through it, I was really hyped about it because it's really cool. It is a good game. It's freaking cool. But then after the hype died out for me, I was like, pretty funny. I mean, it is a cool game, but it just that hype died out for me after at least I think it died out after I beat the game, which is a good thing. When I start my new game plus, and I was like, you know what, whatever, it's all Batmobile. I mean, I felt like I had to force myself out into the open world to find melee combat, just because I want to fight. I want to do the melee brawling stuff. That's what I want to do at a Batman game. And I felt like I had to force myself to do open world stuff because all the main missions are basically Batmobile. Or almost everything in the campaign is Batmobile. Now there is plenty of melee combat. There's plenty of it, but compared to the Batmobile, it's nothing. It's just like, okay, do I get to play Batman? Do I get to fight? No, it's all Batmobile. And that I hear that and I'm like, it might be a small exaggeration, but it is a major, that's how I feel. That's when I play that game. It's like Batmobile, and I'm telling you, I love the Batmobile. I think it's really, really, really super cool, just awesome. But I would really prefer to have at least an equal amount of brawling combat, at least. There's and so the challenges, not the Batmobile. More Batmobile challenges, races, whatever, and they're cool, but it's and then the brawling combat challenges, very few, not long enough. You got the ones where you face the waves, very short, really short. I mean, the thing that keeps you repeatedly playing them is trying to get a better score out of it, but it doesn't feel as fun as the other Arkham games because you don't actually fight off more and more and more and more enemies. You have basically the same amount of enemies, and you try to get the best combination score off of them, and it's just ridiculous. There is one single challenge included with the base game that is kind of cool. It's kind of ruined at the same time. This one is an infinite mode. You can go through the challenge mode forever as long as you don't get hit once or miss a combo somehow, because that happens. Sometimes I've missed a combo and I'm like, how the hell did I not hit this enemy? It happens. But it's an endless mode, which is pretty cool, except for the fact that if you get hit once, you got to start all over again. But I definitely dig that. But at the same time, another major disappointment, another one linked with this, is you cannot change your characters for the challenges. You're stuck with Batman. You can change your skins, yay! You unlock Catwoman, Nightwing, Robin, and you don't even get to play them in the challenge modes. So not only is the dual play just not there enough, but the challenges, you can't even change your characters. I think there's one dual play challenge, and it's one of the really short ones. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played. I think there might be a dual play challenge. There might not be. Crap. It's been a while since I played. It's been maybe a couple weeks since I played. I was determined when I first finished the game and I started my new game plus. I was in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm gonna 100% this now. And then as I was playing through it, I was like, I want to play melee combat. But I love it. I'm telling you, the dual play and the environmental attacks are, to me, they're incredible. I love using the environmental stuff to smash the enemies. It reminded me a lot of Sleeping Dogs, just not as bloody. But just super freaking cool. Alright, so I talked a lot about that stuff, and I want to talk a little bit more about one of my other favorite things in this game was the Joker. And a lot of people were talking about they're sick of the Joker being the main focus, sick of the Joker this, and while I understand it, I don't necessarily agree with it because he's a good character. They do a good job with him. They don't just do this. It's not the same thing every time. The Joker's a freaking nutso. But the reason I loved the Joker so much in this game was because he is dead. He's all up in Batman's mind. And it's a little different, and I don't want to get into too much explanation to spoil it for anybody that hasn't played it. You know, it's not a major spoiler or anything, but I don't want to give it away or anything if you're gonna play it and stuff. But the Joker is in Batman's mind, and he follows Batman everywhere. Everywhere Batman goes, Joker always has like some one-liner of awesomeness. Like he's just nuts, and he's just mocking Batman, and it's hilarious, and it's really cool. And it to me it fit. It really, I was like, dude, this is awesome. But when I was like other people when I first found out Joker was me in the game, whatever. I was like, and they talked about it too, and I thought they just meant for a little while. I thought they just meant that Joker dies, because he dies at the end of Arkham City. Spoiler, I mean, that's something you have to know about, and I don't want to spoil that, but that is, like, if you're playing Arkham Knight, that's right off the start. Right off the start, Joker's dead. So I don't know. It's just really, really cool the way they did it, and when the way that Batman hears Joker mocking him, and he's got all this guilt. Batman has all this guilt for people that he's lost in his life. His parents and friends and stuff like that. So he's got a lot of guilt, and it the way that Joker talks to Batman, it reminds me of how, like, sometimes when I get mad at myself or crazy with myself, and I talk to myself, I don't mind admitting that. Anybody that doesn't talk to themselves is crazier than me. No, sometimes, like, I will be really mean to myself, and it's so funny because I'll think of it as the bad guy, but it's not the bad guy, it's me, and that's what the Batman Joker thing in this game made me think about. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I can sort of relate to this. Some crazy dude in my head is talking shit to me, man, like, that's pretty damn funny. It's cool. I mean, I loved it. And there was another thing, crap, and I had, like, all these thoughts in my head, and I got some notes down, but not everything, because as soon as I think it, and then it's just gone after. If I don't write it down right away, it's poof, gone. But no, just really cool stuff there. And there were some really amazing key moments in the game, especially with Poison Ivy. Oh my gosh, I loved Poison Ivy in this game. I loved her. She was my favorite villain in the game. They did some really cool stuff. And unfortunately, though, she was, like, to me, not the main villain or anything, but she was the villain with the most extra plot. Like, she had, like, a really key part in the story, and it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. And then all the other characters are just kind of side characters, even the Arkham Knight, actually. The Arkham Knight, while Scarecrow is the main villain, Arkham Knight seems to be the main villain, because he's the one, he's like the main, I don't know, it's really, he's the main mystery, right? And he's a big part of Scarecrow's mission and all the stuff, whatever. But I also liked Scarecrow too. Scarecrow was really cool. I kept thinking, every time I heard Scarecrow talk, he sounded exactly like Doctor Strange in Arkham Origins. Every time. I don't know if it's just me, if it's been a while since I played Origins, that I think that he sounds like Doctor Strange when he doesn't. But every time I heard Scarecrow talk, I was like, isn't that Doctor Strange? Like, what the hell, man? He was a great character, though. Really cool. Looked freaky. Which reminds me, rated M. Rated M. Not necessary. I mean, like, they go out of their way to talk about how, we're gonna make this game darker, and that's why they could, you know what? There's, like, literally, like, 2 scenes in the game that made it rated M. They should have just made it not rated M. Like, I'm not even, like, not to be a jerk, and like, that's how I feel. I feel like, why did you go out of your way to make 2 scenes in the game to make it rated M? I'm like, that's just another thing that's, what happened here? What happened? But I'm telling you, like, I know there was 2 scenes. I can remember 2 scenes where I was like, whoa. One scene in particular is the one that, like, is memorable. Unforgettable. Unforgettable and memorable is the wrong word. Unforgettable. And when it first happened, I was like, no way, I can't believe these guys did that. I was so pissed. I wanted to rip their heads off, but I also was like, I respected them for doing it. Like, because that was not something you should do in a Batman story. Like, and I was blown away by it, which brings me to another thing that this is probably what I was remembering. I forgot earlier to talk about the whole thing with the Joker and Batman and Scarecrow, right? I mean, Batman's drugged. And so he's kind of losing his mind throughout the whole freaking story. He's just going nuts. And because of that, a ton of stuff happens in the game that is hard to know if it's real or not, which I thought was really cool. I was like, wait a second, this is starting to be like there was a lot of stuff I was like, did that really happen, or is Batman just hallucinating, you know? And I thought that was really cool. I loved that about that. That was another thing. It was like the Joker thing, like where Joker's in his mind and messing with them the whole time, and he's while he's going through the motions of fighting criminals and all this stuff, there are these things that happen that are just bonkers. Like, it's just, and there was a point I was halfway through the game and I was live streaming it, and I was like, dude, I don't know if I can even believe that happened. And it was just, and especially this one scene, the unforgettable scene, I was like, that can't be real. That can't be real. There's just no way that it can be real. And I loved that. I loved the just the trickery of it. You know, like I'm just fooled. I'm just like, it was pretty awesome. There was an amazing scene. Like there's a lot of, like, I mean, it's worth a playthrough. It's easily worth a playthrough. It's like, I mean, my gosh, if you haven't played the game, you probably should. The story is really good. Nothing majorly special, right? I mean, but it's good. It's a good story. Some really cool stuff to it. Now, for me, the Arkham Knight, a lot of people hopefully haven't seen the spoiler, but you probably have found out who he is by accident or something. I sure did. Like a day before the game came out, somebody was in a live stream. I was watching a friend of mine live stream, like Batman Arkham Asylum, I think, or City. It was one of them. She was playing it and live streaming it, and somebody went in the channel and was just like, "Oh, Arkham Knight is so and so," and just like, you know, not a major like spoiler, but just kind of like, what the hell, man? You know, come on. But I love the story that leads up to it, and I never would have saw it coming. I'm not a big Batman lore follower person. I love Batman, but I don't memorize this stuff. I don't memorize the background lore and the plot, and you know, like whatever. So if I had played through this game, the way that they reveal who Arkham Knight is, I thought was freaking cool. Like, just so super cool. I was the whole time, and I didn't think it was a reveal to Arkham Knight. Like, to me, it wasn't even, you know, like, I was just playing the game and enjoying a good story. But that was how they lead. You know, it was just weird to me, because if I hadn't known who it was, there's no way I would have expected it. Maybe I might. Yeah, I don't think so. Because as I was playing the game and I was going through these missions, and I was like, dude, this is amazing. It's also another part of the whole, this can't be real. Like, you know, because of the drugged up Batman, the crazy stuff in his mind that's messing with him and flipping him out. Just really cool, man. So I loved it. I loved the whole thing. I loved all that stuff, man. But yeah, so that's, I mean, overall it's a cool game. Just once the hype died for me, like, pretty quickly after I started New Game Plus. I like the game, but every time I feel like I have to force myself into a brawler combat mission, and it's mostly open world because you can't do it in a mission. Like in the campaign missions, you're doing certain specific missions that they're giving you, you know. And so yeah, I mean, like, I don't want, it's fun though. The combat system is great, and you know, the new talent tree is badass. The skill tree is excellent. Really cool stuff. And I know there was probably a couple more things that I wanted to mention. I really wish I had these in my notes, because I know there's a couple things that I'm missing. But, so the reason I wanted to make this video is because of all the DLC bullcrap. Now, this is what makes the game even more disappointing. Just the fact that you got Red Hood DLC, which was apparently a pre-order exclusive to GameStop or whatever. And a friend pointed that out to me, and he's like, well, that's probably why they made it so short, you know? And I was like, what are you talking about? That's no excuse. Not only is that not an excuse, but the DLC, the Harley story, you know, thing, which I also wrote a review about, because it was really cool, but way too short. Excuse me, sorry. You know, literally 10 minute and 20 minute long missions. And when I think about that, I mean, how many missions would they have to add for me to be like, oh, maybe the season pass is worth $40. But they're not gonna add that many. They're not gonna add a ton of missions. They're gonna add like maybe 2. Right? You got the Batgirl DLC, and then what else are they gonna add? They're gonna add one more, right? They'll probably maybe add one more hour-long DLC. And everything else so far is skins. They announced after Batgirl's DLC, they announced August DLC, and it's nothing but skins. That's all it is, just skins. You get like 4 Batman suits and a Batmobile skin, I think. I don't know, whatever. And I'm just like, dude, and you guys are charging. It makes me sick. Like, it truly disgusts me. And that's not just Arkham Knight. Like, I mean, this is what we see in all games with the DLC. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, and it needs to stop. You know, you're sitting here charging, like, basically to me, you're charging $40 for like an extra hour, maybe 2 hours, $40 for 2 hours of extra content, and like some skins, some costume skins, and you want $40 beyond the $60. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Sorry for that. I don't know what else to say to that. I don't know, like, you know. So I watched a little bit of gameplay of the Batgirl DLC, and I was like, this is something I thought before I saw the game. You know, it just recently came out. Season Pass owners have it. And I knew, like, I was like, you know, I'll probably buy the Batgirl DLC to play it because I am interested in playing as Batgirl. But I'm going to buy the individual DLC. I'm not going to buy the Season Pass. Not after what I've seen with the 10-minute freaking Red Hood DLC, which I forgot to say. All DLC, no matter what, pre-order DLC, all that stuff, all the exclusive DLC, eventually, they said, like, at maybe 6 months, I'm not sure, but eventually all that DLC is going to be available to everybody. So it doesn't matter. There's no excuse to have a Red Hood 10-minute DLC be 10 minutes long because only a certain group of people got it. Well, no, everybody's going to be able to play that. Everybody. That's what they announced this before the game launched. All DLC, no matter what, is going to be limited time exclusive, and then everybody will have access to it, which is cool. At the same time, it's also kind of stupid to have that kind of incentive to buy the game from so-and-so and so-and-so, but I'm glad they do that. I mean, just stop with the dumb, stupid pre-order bonuses. Stop it. Just stop acting like that's some bonus, alright? Throw it into the game like you should in the first place. Okay? Seriously. And it's not just Rocksteady, it's not just Warner Brothers, it's not just Batman, you know. It's like I should make another separate video again about DLC because it's just nonsense. But that's another part of it. That's another part of what makes the game so disappointing is the fact that they're going to be adding, I think, challenge modes as well. They're talking about bringing challenge modes through the Season Pass. That will probably be more brawler-based, I would hope. Because, I'll tell you, the base game includes, like, it's all Batmobile challenges. And I like them, but I want to play the brawler, man. And especially dual play. Especially dual play. The coolest thing they added in the game besides the environmental attacks and picking up the bats of your enemies and stuff and using them against them. So they're locking that behind. They're locking the challenges, what we normally got included with the game, behind DLC. Now, of course, there were challenge packs before. You know, it's just a little different this time because of the Batmobile focus. It really switches everything up, and it just, oh man. But game is cool, and I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I might do a response video if I get any comments that remind me of something that I forgot to talk about and I think it's worth mentioning. I know it's a longer video. This is stuff that, like, I wanted to write a long review, but I didn't want to get into too much detail, you know? I just wanted to be like, look, the game is cool, here's what's good about it, here's what's bad, and there you go. But there's a lot of little extra details inside of all that, you know, of course. There always is. And especially another thing is my time is a lot more limited right now, so more like I have to just basically get straight to the point for my own sake as well as my readers, because I don't have the time to spend hours writing out a full in-depth review, which is, you know, sorry for that, but I did write a good review. I did my best to get a nice to-the-point review out and stuff. So anyways, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments as you watch the video. I hope you took notes and wrote down your comment. That's what I do when I watch a video that I want to respond to. I will write my answer as I watch the video, and that way I'll comment after the video That's what I do. It's one of my things because that's something I learned. Like as I was watching videos, I would forget what I wanted to say, so I would just write it down as I was watching it, and then wait to comment until after finish the video. Anyways, so yeah, cool. Let me know what's up, what you think, and I hope you guys have played Batman Arkham Knight. If you haven't, definitely play it. It's a really cool game. It is. It's just all that disappointment stuff that I was talking about. But also remember, a lot of good stuff, a lot of really, really, really cool stuff as well. So, anyways, I'll see you guys later, and have a great one. Game on, people.